Why Not? A queer podcast.
Thank you to our sponsor, Pineapple Healthcare, an award-winning primary care clinic right here in Orlando.
Pineapple Healthcare offers mental health counseling, HIV, STI testing and treatment, and specializes in care for the LGBTQ plus community.
Open Monday through Saturday. Call today at 407-553-6336 and schedule your appointment.
Pineapple Healthcare. Better together.
Hi, everybody. I'm Rick Todd.
And I'm Jeremy Williams, and you're listening to Wine?
Why Not? A queer podcast.
Episode 108.
Holy cow, 108.
It's getting up there in age. I'm going to write this down.
Aren't we all?
Aren't we all? I'm going to write this down, but when we get to the episode that correlates with the oldest person who has ever lived, then the world will end.
Oh, you have a lot of confidence that we're going to make it that far. Unless they're 109, I wouldn't be too sure we're going to get there.
It is today. Actually, according, I think I sent you this meme. According to Ghostbusters 2, the world was supposed to end 3 days ago.
Oh, yeah.
February 14th, 2025. If you watched the beginning of Ghostbusters 2.
You know what? Keep trying,
apparently was
people.
a fraud.
Keep trying. One of these days, someone's going to be right.
Somebody
So keep
will.
talking about the end of the world.
Yeah.
Because the end of the world is coming.
Isn't it?
It's like
there's
Game
an
of
asteroid
Thrones,
coming
though.
in
It's like
2032 that it doubled the chance that it might hit Earth. Oh, by the look on your face, I'm guessing you haven't heard of this. So there is an asteroid.
You just told me we're all gonna die.
There is well, let me.
And
That is how the headline. If you see it, look up the stories. The headlines are.
Oh, so it was it went from 1 in 800 billion chances of it hitting us to 1 in 400
It went
billion.
from a 1% chance to a 2% chance.
Oh.
That is a double of a giant asteroid that I am not comfortable with. But 2032, a giant asteroid, 10 times the size of Mount McKinley. I think that's what we call it now.
I think that whenever you say, for some reason, when the words are running together and you're saying a giant asteroid, for some reason my ears are hearing vagina asteroid. And I'm I'm not sure that's true.
That's actually what it is. It's a giant vagina asteroid. So
Mount McKinley. It's going to hit that?
No. It's about 10 times the size of
Oh, I thought you said it's going to hit that.
one of the
that's very
mountains.
specific, but okay.
one of the mountains. Mount Rushmore? No, it's 10 times the size of some mountain out there.
What's the Mount McKinley thing? I mean, I can't follow it all.
That's Denali up in Alaska. Denali is what has been called for generations by the natives up there. And when Obama took office, because it was called Mount McKinley after President
so he
McKinley.
called it what they
So
called
he changed it to Denali, and then Trump, when he got in office, said, "Not on my watch. It's Mount McKinley again."
It will always be
Denali.
the Gulf of Denali to me.
The two different Earth formations, but I get your point.
Look, I don't want to get into a long rabbit hole of all this craziness, but seriously, this is a serious thing, or is it not? Because you know what? This is what we'll do. We'll do the first segment, real or not real, and I'll just ask you things that I read on the interwebs, and then you tell me real or not real.
Cool.
Red, white, and blue land. Is that real or not real?
That is not real.
Okay.
That is something that has been knocked around on MAGA Twitter. Because much like Gulf of Mexico and Denali, I will always call it Twitter. It's been something that's been knocked around on Twitter.
Do you still call us Watermark, or do you say Watermark Out News?
I call us Tom's Company.
You and 90% of this community do.
No,
Wait, you call it that until that asteroid hits you.
I do still call it Watermark in casual conversation. But I've gotten
Do you
good.
call it Watermark, Florida's distinctive gay and lesbian newspaper?
Yeah. I do find myself online remembering to call it Watermark Out News now.
I caught myself calling it Watermark several times. Do you know who's good about Watermark Out News? Brian.
Yeah. He sure is.
He probably has flashcards when he goes home and studies them, and it's like, Watermark Out News, Watermark Out News.
Nice. I like that. I hope that's true.
Nerd.
Anyway, so
just kidding. We love you.
Episode
He's never
108.
going to hear this because he doesn't listen.
He doesn't listen
He
to
doesn't
these.
listen.
Episode 108.
Oh, you got some cool facts about 108.
calm down on the cool part.
Oh.
I have some facts about 108.
Can I land mine first? Because really,
Oh, sure. Go
for
ahead.
those who don't know what 108 is, I looked it up, and this is Wikipedia. 108 is the natural number following 107 and preceding 109. That's my fact.
That is very accurate.
No crumbs.
The number 108 is
8.
actually considered sacred in the Dharmic religions, which is like Hinduism, Buddhism, and the mala necklaces, the beads that they count and pray off of, are 108 beads.
Oh.
Because it is a sacred number. Also, it is a sacred number by mathematicians. I wrote this down because I wasn't going to remember this, but the distance between the moon and the earth is 108 times the diameter of the moon, and the distance between the earth and the sun is 108 times the diameter of the sun. So I thought that was very fascinating. They're equal, based on their size, equal distances from each other.
Huh. That's fascinating. Is that why 108 is so important in these?
Probably.
Well, I can't imagine that they would know that back then, like when religions were formed.
Math has been around for centuries. I don't know. But
I don't know
would
that
assume,
that kind of math has been mathing for that long.
I don't know. There's some monks, Buddhist monks over on
right on the other side of that wall.
No, what's that road down the whole where that you two chit-chatting just threw me off and I don't remember what I was saying. That road down there where they got the Buddhist temple.
Oh, okay.
There's a bunch of monks there. I'll ask them.
Where is that Buddhist temple?
It's on Holden? Is that road?
Right.
Hofner?
Well, there are roads with both those names.
Hofner, I think. It's down over by where Danny lives.
Yeah, Hofner. Okay.
Let's throw his address out there
Oh
online.
my God. Should we throw his last name and his full address? Wow.
But yeah,
and we don't edit these things, so if we say something like that, it's going in.
Now, I used to live down there, and I would walk by the temple all the time. And then me and Melissa went through a little Buddhism phase, and we would go there. And they do a little vegetarian. No, I not really gave it up. I just don't want to drive over there. I don't live over there anymore, so it's a bit of it's a lot to ask on a Sunday.
Is that like the number one? What do they call them? Like tenets of the religion? Is that it's got to be convenient.
I think that's all religions.
Yeah, it needs to be right here. That is true.
But the only other 108 that I found is there is an American hardcore band named 108, and their music reflects their Hare Krishna faith and hardcore punkism. So check them out.
Until you said Hare Krishna, I thought maybe you were talking about Daisy's band.
Oh, but I don't know Daisy's band name. Is she
on
the 108?
I don't know.
We'll look into it.
I know it's hard.
Hold on, wait. I have the band members here. No, she is not on that band.
Something about a Yeti. I love it. I just want that to be the name of it. Something about a Yeti. I want to name that band. It will always be that to me.
Nice.
What are you doing tonight? I'm going to see something about a Yeti. Nice. Also sounds like a euphemism.
It could be. Could be.
All right.
Any hoozle. So that's a 108s.
Good deal. So I'm gonna just mention a few things before we talk about our weeks. Do you listen? You listen to other podcasts, right?
Yeah.
Like how many?
I mean, a dozen or so. I don't know. I listen to them when I can.
That is the.
I don't have like an exact number.
That is the answer that I was looking for. Like a dozen or so, right?
Yeah.
Because I listen to two other ones. Like that's it. I listen to I Survived, which I love. I Survived, and I listen to My Favorite Murder, mainly the minisodes now. Pardon me, but I get caught up on them, and I find myself having to drive, so I try to listen to other ones. And a new movie, like people who love movies, a new podcast came out. So I started listening to it, and I don't know if they weren't talking about you and I, but I wonder if they were talking about this kind of podcast, because they were kind of complaining about this bro-y kind of movie podcast.
I don't think anything we do is bro.
Okay. I forget what they called them, but they were like bro something. Oh, I wish I could like broadcast or like movie.
Was
broadcast.
this a couple of chicks talking about it?
Well, no, it was 1 and 1. It was a guy and a girl. I assume from their voices and names.
A homo and his gal pal.
I don't know if he's gay or not. But it was just interesting to listen to at first. And like I listened to it for about 20-25 minutes. And it's not like they know a lot about movies, and that I'm not interested in that. I don't want to know that you know a lot about movies because you went to film school. Yeah, I took a film class too. So, but I mean, we're just here to tell you like, hey, this is a cool movie or it's not a cool movie, and that's it. I don't know if that makes it broy or not, but it was interesting to me because the first 25 minutes was a complete explanation of what you could expect from them, and I was like, did we do that? Did we go on and on and on about it?
I mean, that was so long ago. We're at episode 108. I don't remember anything
We're at
for
the
the first half.
majestical 108. How do we know? But it was interesting to me. I remember we got the note like 2 weeks into it. Somebody was like, 12 episodes into it. They're like, you don't have to explain that Jeremy's drinking and you're not every single time.
There was a stretch there where a 2-sentence explanation was given at the start of every podcast. Yes. I don't think it went on that long.
Well, it was only an hour long, the episode, so we couldn't have talked for 25 minutes about what we were going to talk about. I think though that we kept saying things like, "Hey, yeah, you can expect a lot of that," like a bunch of idiots. Anyway, I find it very difficult to find podcasts that I like. And I guess maybe it has to be about, people struggling because I seem to really get into these I Survive. I love they're triumphant stories about people who overcame these horrible situations. And they talk about just like how their bodies take over and get them through this. I find it fascinating. The last one I listened to was, it was from 89 or 99. I don't know when it was, but it was a US Air flight that crash landed and like cartwheeled, and it had like 290 people on it, and half of them survived and half didn't.
Oh, damn.
But listening to these people describe what was going on was crazy. Anyway.
Yeah.
So if you got good podcasts that you listen to, let me know.
Yeah, I mean, whatever your taste is. I listen to a lot of history podcasts, nerd podcasts, movie podcasts.
I would like a really good movie podcast thing to listen to. History, I don't know. Because I'm usually driving late at night, and it's like an hour and a half of driving, and if I get caught up listening to like, I don't know, something that might put me to sleep, that could be dangerous.
Yeah, I mean, none of the ones I've listened to have put me to sleep yet. But no, it's like history. Like there's this really good, it's an 8-part series on the Watergate scandal and how Woodward and Bernstein, everything that they did. At the Washington Post. There's a really good one. It's from the same people that on the Monica Lewinsky, Bill Clinton scandal. So it's like it's like 6 or 8 episode mini podcasts on interesting things that happened. And they're like up to season 7 or 8, and it's really interesting kind of government stuff that the government was trying to hide. The stuff that happened in the 80s with, his name escapes me, Ronald Reagan down in the South America.
Oh, the Iran-Contra scandal where he sold arms.
Yes.
Yeah. Should I say allegedly? I don't know. I just remember watching Ollie North on TV.
Ollie North, that's the name I was trying to remember. But it goes over what he did and all the backstory of it. It's really fascinating.
I can get into those kind of things. I listened to the Richard Simmons podcast. Did you listen to that one about the guy trying to find him? He was before he died.
Of it. Yeah, no, I didn't. Yeah,
it was riveting actually.
Yeah,
so I could get into that kind of thing. Maybe I should try my hand at it. You got good ones like that? Let me know.
Yeah. Also, or if you're This American Life, which is an NPR series, they're really good short episodes. Those are really good.
Right on. And then the other thing I wanted to mention. I seem to have suddenly forgot. What was it? Anyway, I guess. Oh, we got another message. I just like to point this out. We got another message on Instagram. Did you see that?
I did not. No.
This poor guy. He suggests movies to us, and they've all been great. There's one that we listened to that we didn't like. So all but this one were good. And so he messaged us again and was like, please watch this movie. I promise it'll be good.
What was the name of it?
Everybody's talking about Jamie. Is that the one?
Oh, that's on Amazon Prime.
Yeah,
it's the musical.
Yeah, we always it's on our list. So we'll do it. I promise we'll do it. We'll do it soon-ish. But I think next week we should. I mean, I keep getting all these things popping up in my feed about Brokeback Mountain, and because it's the 25th,
it's the 20th anniversary.
We should do that before we forget to do it. So we've got those two coming up at some point that we'll get to.
And we've got the Oscars coming up too in 2 weeks.
Yeah. We'll definitely talk about that. Bear won't win anything in that.
It sure won't, because it is not a movie.
Are we sure?
I'm sure. I went and checked.
I
researched
comedy,
it.
but we still let it win. No, I kid.
But yeah, so it's
Didn't the guy from didn't they win an award recently? Oh, come on. BAFTAs were
BAFTAs were this past weekend.
And
those are movies.
All of this distancing everybody's doing from the star of
from Amelia Perez.
And then it won an award and
she didn't win.
But the director did.
It won Best Foreign Language Film, which it has been consistently.
Yeah, I just read a headline where he thanked her and and she was in it, but I just think it's funny because there's all of this distancing and everybody's distancing from her, and it's like it's almost like he forgot to distance from her. I'm sorry, but she dug her own grave. She's a horrible person based on her tweets. So, it takes a lot for a studio to say, you're cut off. We're not paying to send you to these award shows where you have been nominated for all of this stuff. But Zoe Saldana won her award, and she was lovely. The director of Amelia Perez, when he accepted his award, that was not televised. It was an off-camera award. So all we saw was a clip of it. Is it always, or did they do it for this one?
No. They remember that thing a couple of years ago the Oscars did where they did half of the categories off-camera and then just came back from commercial break and were like, these are the winners, and then people lost their shit. That's something BAFTA's been doing for years. British people don't care that they don't get all of their awards televised. So that one is generally not aired on TV.
I didn't know that the BAFTAs were British until you said it, and then I was like, B probably is for British.
Yeah, it's the British Academy Awards. Yes. British Academy Film Awards is what BAFTA
See, that right
for.
There tells you that I'm not qualified to do a podcast on entertainment because I don't know that.
But yeah, so it was a really good show. Conclave won Best Picture. So it put it back up in the conversation. Yeah.
So nothing else was nominated?
There's a lot nominated. But I thought Conclave was an amazing movie, and I would be happy if it won the Oscar. But it was nominated against Anora, The Brutalist, A Complete Unknown, and Amelia Perez.
I don't know what's going to win. But I don't know that I think that when I think of like best pictures, I don't, for some reason, that's not it for, but I can understand this, right? I can understand, I think I said this when we talked about it. I don't care about Catholicism and the process of Catholicism. So a movie about it is lost on me. Yeah. So, but it doesn't mean I don't think that there wasn't great acting in it, but it wasn't. I think I slept less in that than I did in Wicked. So there's that.
Yeah. It's probably a good idea you're not a voting member of the Academy because you slept through most of the movies, but
listen, when I sleep in a movie, you're talking 5 or 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Except for Wicked. I was exceptionally tired that time, and I slept through a lot of it.
Yeah.
I mean, I make a lot of jokes about the 40-year-old student at the school, but to be honest with you, I slept through every scene where he was in the school. In fact, when I found out that he had a song, I was surprised. It was after I saw the movie that I found out he had a song, and I was like, he did? I didn't know that. I'm going to go back and watch it, though, before the Academy Awards.
Wait, have you not seen the stage show, Wicked?
Yeah, I mean, but I don't. It's been a while since I've seen the stage show. Okay. Does he have a song? He has a song in
He
that?
sings that song in the stage show. Yeah. In fact, all the songs that are in the movie are in the stage show. In fact, only the first half of the stage show. They don't sing any
Then
songs
how is
from
it
the
so
second
long?
half.
They added more.
No, they're going to add a lot more to the second movie.
Oh, that is true. Because like Defying Gravity, and then you've got
And
like
the
25 minutes
Act
left
One,
of the
yeah.
show. How are they going to turn that into?
So, I mean, they haven't released a whole lot of details, but kind of the rumor is that they're going to fold in the Wizard of Oz story into Wicked, and you're going to watch what happened with Dorothy simultaneously with what happens to the witches.
Did you know that Cynthia Erivo,
yeah.
is coming to Orlando?
I did.
To sing at the Steinmetz?
I saw that she was coming to Tampa Bay.
Oh, because never mind. She's performing with the Florida Orchestra.
Yeah.
Which is in Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. I had almonds before we did the podcast, and now I'm digging them out of my teeth.
I don't know. You know, when you run a company, and if you run a company, let me know if this is you.
Sure.
Like, it just really depends on the day as to what decision you're going to make about something. And like, I mean, yeah, I mean, obviously, you think of things well-roundedly and blah, 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 blah. But sometimes certain decisions are like how you feel that day. So I got an email that said, hey, do you want me to try to get tickets for you to see Cynthia Erivo with the Florida Orchestra?
Yeah.
And I was like, no.
No?
Did you want to go to Tampa Bay and see it?
I don't know if I would drive to Tampa Bay, but if somebody was going to get me to Tampa Bay, it would be Cynthia Erivo.
Well, if she is actually going to get you to Tampa Bay, then let me know and I'll ask.
All right.
But I just thought, I was like, Jeremy's not going to drive over there, and no.
It's honestly going to depend on the day. If it's the middle of the week, like I have to work all day and then drive to Tampa, probably not.
I'm going to need
But if it's
to
a weekend
see
show?
the song list, and I need to know that I'm not going to hear the end of Defying Gravity.
You're such a hater of movies this year.
Just a hater in general.
Like the Razzies brought to you by Rick. Everything sucked.
Oh, that's hilarious. I don't think everything sucked. Every movie that we cover from past years, I really liked. No, didn't we? Oh, you know what? Queer
It's
sucked.
a Friday. Oh wait, she's doing 2 shows on a Saturday. I'd be down for the Saturday show. She's going to be at the Mahaffey on the 2nd and Ruth Eckerd Hall on the 3rd.
With the Florida Orchestra?
Yeah. She's
At both
with the Florida-
locations?
Yeah.
I might be willing. Wait.
May 2nd and May 3rd.
I would go. We could have this conversation offline. I'm sure this is real exciting for people, but I go to the Mahaffey. Ruth Eckerd's fine. It's just a bit more of a drive.
Yeah.
It's in Clearwater.
Yeah.
Mahaffey's in St. Pete.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, how was your week?
I'm in Orlando.
Well, I will be too at some point.
My week was good. I didn't do a whole lot. Like I said, I watched the BAFTAs, which were fantastic. I did go by Volusia Pride, which was
I'm like, oh yeah, how much did it cost?
formerly DeLand Pride.
How was it?
It was a very small crowd. I was talking with a friend of mine who was there.
Was it bigger than Sebring?
No, it was a really small crowd. And I think I think a lot of people, and I think we're going to see this with a lot of Pride events this year, I think people are scared to come out. I mean, it was a nice crowd, but it was nowhere near what I've seen
Small but mighty.
at DeLand Pride or at other prides before. So it'll be interesting to see this as this year goes on, if people are feeling very prideful. But also talking to that friend, found out that thanks to our current administration, that the VA has cut all LGBTQ programming. So no more Pride at VA, no more signage.
Yeah, that's sad.
No more
And
pronoun
She
posters.
lost her job, right?
Well, they
cut the program.
They cut her. She's kind of in a weird position right now because they cut her position, but she's still a counselor and under the mental health clinic with the VA. But they're currently on a hiring freeze because they froze all hiring in the federal government. So even a transfer is considered a new hire. So she's kind of caught in a limbo right now. and hopefully getting that worked out. But what's the word I'm looking for? Where people come together, groups. The group sessions have all been canceled. So there's like 15, 20 LGBTQ and trans specific groups that cannot meet there, and they're trying to find a place where outside of the VA they can kind of form their own groups, and so they're hitting around, and times are tough for everybody. So renting space for a group is expensive, particularly for a group of veterans that don't have a whole lot of money. So it's just kind of shitty and chaotic over there right now.
Well, they got to save that money so that they can, acquire Greenland and Panama
No,
Canal.
I'm not talking the government. I'm talking like
no, I know,
community
but the
organizations.
Yeah, but so they gotta get rid of all of this, community spending from the government so they can afford the things that are really important, like red, white, and blue land.
Yeah.
That's terrible because, it's it's just a good thing. It's just a good thing to have. And the amount of work that she did to help veterans is great, and it's sad to see. I know that there was a veterans group that was a sponsor of Tampa Pride, and they pay that sponsorship and then ask for the money back.
Yeah.
When things changed hands.
Yeah. So it's just it's a shitty time all around. But that happened.
But it's not like they fired all of the people that know all of our nuclear secrets, and then nobody knew where the nukes were.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then they couldn't hire them back. Hey, I know what it's like to let people go, and then like the next day try to get them back on the phone to be like, hey, just kidding, come back. But that was because of COVID, not because of...
Yeah. I'm not sure you want to be comparing yourself to the Trump administration. Very different circumstances. But yeah, no, other than that, it was, pretty easy week. Chris fell ill this past week, so I basically just hung out and took care of him.
Did you do anything for Valentine's Day? You and Chris?
No. What did I do on Valentine's Day? That was Saturday. I don't think I did. I think we ordered a pizza, watched TV.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There was a place that used to make heart-shaped pizzas on Valentine's Day.
Pizza Hut used to do the heart-shaped pizzas, yeah.
They still do that?
I don't think so.
Your pizza didn't come in a heart shape?
We don't order Pizza Hut. I'm not gonna lie, we are pizza snobs.
We got that editor money.
We order the Procolinos or Pizzani over there, which is owned by the folks who own Procolinos. And they've been doing because they got these new Beretta cheese pizzas, and they're buy one get one because they want people to try them. So typically, you pay $20-$25 for their jumbo pizza. You drop $20 and you get 2 jumbo pizzas. So we were eating off a pizza for a couple of days. So that was nice.
Do you know that whenever I order pizza, it doesn't matter how many people are going to be there. It has to be a large pizza. Yeah. So if it's just Dylan and I, it's one large. But if Dylan didn't like pepperoni and mushroom and he wanted just cheese, I would order a large cheese pizza for him and a large pepperoni and mushroom for me. Because I have found, talk about being a pizza snob, I have found that anything smaller than a large makes the pizza not come out good.
Yeah, it gives it a rubbery
dry
taste.
And rubbery, and by the time you get it, it's too old to eat.
Yeah.
So
I'm right there with you. We only order jumbo.
Oh, I should do jumbo.
Jumbo, it's the big old New York style slices. Yeah,
I'm gonna start doing jumbo from now on.
It's good.
I thought ordering a large was ordering a big one, but if there's bigger, then I feel like an idiot.
Yeah, I mean, it depends where you order from, but yeah, at Procolinos they do small, large, extra large jumbo.
And they charge you twice.
We do the jumbo. Well, it's buy one get one, so you don't. So you get a good.
So it's just
good
amount. There's a place on Central in St. Pete, and I don't know the name of it because I don't do the ordering.
Yeah,
but I have found it to be just like it is as close to New York pizza as I've ever had. I mean, there's a place here in Orlando that I really like, which I forget the name of too, but it's really good. We order all the time. But this one in St. Pete, it is like the storefront. It looks like it's real small. You get in there, maybe 4 or 5 people can fit in there, and then they just make pizzas and hand them out. It's right there at Janice Landing. So there's a back window, which they sell slices to people inside the concert at Janus Landing,
nifty.
and then there's the door they come in to get them. It's so good. So, whatever your name is, good job. Keep up the good work.
All right. Other than that, we went bowling this
We
weekend for Zebra Youths. Stripes for Stripes.
Yeah, it
One
was
of those.
second one that they've done.
I think it was fourth annual.
Oh,
yeah. Second that we played at, fourth that they've had.
I was the first that I've been at.
You weren't in our last team?
We used to do HRC's thing, but
No, but we were. Oh man, I don't know why you weren't there. We did one of these for the Zebra bowling teams.
well, if it's on a Sunday,
maybe you had softball.
I had
or something,
softball for the last few seasons. I was playing in Tampa
that's
Bay,
probably what it was.
so I
then.
probably wouldn't have been here for that.
Yeah.
So if y'all did it, right on. But it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was a good time.
It's been a
Nice
long time since
turnout.
I bowled. I felt a little stupid because, just because Jen and I come in there like we're bowlers of some sort. Like I've got this suitcase on wheels that has my own ball and shoes and this stupid little wrist thing that you put on, and she got all this powders and things that you use. Like we're professional bowlers, but like breaking 100 is very difficult to do. It's just we used to be in a bowling league, so
Yeah.
but it was like, I mean, we're talking 8 years ago, and we haven't been bowling a long time. We were not sure if when we bowled the ball, if they wouldn't shatter when they hit the lane. So yeah, they didn't though, thankfully, because that could have been messy.
Yeah. I am not an avid bowler. Do you have to keep up on your ball or it will dry out or something?
It just does. I mean, they get old.
Oh, all right.
You know?
I don't know.
Sometimes your balls just get old.
I don't know. I am not. I don't bowl enough to know how balls.
Yeah, I mean,
react
I used to
after
have one that just
age.
it just cracked. Like I went to go bowling one time and I pulled it out of the bag and it had a big crack in it.
Oh, damn. All right.
Yeah,
Good to know.
it happens.
Good to know.
But it was cool. We had a good time. I thought so.
Yeah,
I hope
yeah.
everybody else did. It's great. I haven't been bowling in a long time, like I said, in years. They're so sophisticated now, the way that things work. I mean, I know that there's always been a computer that calculated everything, but now there's like ordering stations where you can just order stuff and put in your lane and people come, and they had the waitress was awesome. We had a great time.
Yeah, it was a really good time.
And we got to see a zebra bowl.
We did. Yes, a giant inflatable zebra was throwing some balls.
Yeah, I took a video of it because I just couldn't stop laughing. It was really a good time. I encourage anybody who in our listening area that is a fan of anything that supports LGBTQ plus youth to donate to Zebra Coalition, but certainly keep an eye out for Strikes for Stripes next year. Hopefully they'll do it again, and it's a really good time.
Yeah. They were supposed to do it tied with Come Out with Pride this past year, but because hurricanes got in the way, so they had to move it. And then this was when Come Out with Pride comes back around in October, I would expect that it'll probably be back there.
Can I tell you what happened when I first got to the bowling alley?
Sure.
I just want to tell you this, and I'm not going to say any names. I don't want to embarrass anybody, but it was like I did not react well to this, and it's funny-ish. But it's funny. I mean, I know where it was coming from, so it's fine. But as soon as I get there, somebody who is a friend of all of ours came up to say hi to me. And, you know, I've been working on losing weight, and I lost like 50 pounds. But then I went on the cruise, and I gained a few pounds back and that kind of thing. And this weekend, like, you know, I had a very busy weekend. And I didn't have time to eat too healthy and all that stuff. So I'm getting ready to go bowling. And I put on my pants, and they're a little snug. Mm-hmm. You know, and they haven't been for months, and they were a little snug yesterday, and I was like, ugh, but like, whatever. So I put on my shirt, and I'm like, okay, you can't see my love handles. I'm fine. So we get to the bowling alley, and this guy comes up and he hugs me, and he goes, oh, you put some of that weight back on, huh?
Oh,
and my face was like, what are you saying to me? It was like, no, because, you know, I do have a touch of body dysmorphia. And so, I mean, of course, that's all I could dwell on. I must have shot a look, but I understand where he was coming from. He was saying, you look healthier.
Yeah.
Which was nice. He was being nice. And of course, what I heard was, you're getting fat, and, you know, threw me for a little bit, but it was funny. In the long run, I laughed.
I did see you two chatting afterwards. Did he apologize?
he was like, I wasn't trying to say you were fat, and I was like, I know. I was like, I just don't recommend that when somebody is trying to lose weight, not telling them that they gained a few pounds. It will make them sad. And then but at least I didn't, because sometimes I can, as I take a joke and I take it a little too far. So my plan was for the rest of the night to not eat anything. But every time I saw somebody eating, go, oh, that looks good. I can't have it because I'm getting fat again. But I didn't do that.
Nice. So how was the rest of your week?
It was cool. I had a lovely Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dylan and I went to Bonefish, and we went with my my brother and his wife.
Oh, did they make it on time?
No.
Oh.
Look, I love them to death, and if they're listening, I love you guys, and I know that you try, but you're just late a lot of times, and that's okay. So I mean, I told him. He told me what time he was going to come over, and I was like, "Ooh, that's gonna make it late." So anyway, he did message me and say when they got there that they planned on GPS said they would get there about 20 minutes after our reservation. So we just pushed the reservation to, I think the next, they luckily they had one available because, Valentine's Day is really packed. But it was available later at like 9. So we went to dinner at 9 and it was lovely. We had a really good time. But we decided we weren't going to get each other Valentine's Day presents. So do you remember, I call it Scooter Gate. Do you remember for Dylan's birthday?
Yes.
That I had bought him a scooter for his birthday, and he went out like 2 days before his birthday and bought a scooter. Now these are they're expensive, and I was like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "Now we have 3. What do we need 3 for?" I was like, "It's so close to your birthday, you don't buy shit for you." Anyway, so it's getting close to Valentine's Day, but we had decided that we weren't getting each other gifts. I was like, we'll get each other a card. Buying dinner will be the present. That's fine. And so, but he had mentioned that he had got me something small for Valentine's Day. And I was like, okay, well, I thought we weren't getting each other anything. I was like, but I will find something small and I will get for you. But while I was buying this thing for him, and the small thing I got for him was that we had been to a networking event and they had this really cool, it was Naughty Homes. It's N-A-U, I love it. It's
Naughty Pie?
It's N-A-U-T-I. Naughty Beach Homes, and because it's somebody's name, but I just die laughing when I think of Naughty Beach Homes. I love it, and they have these great networking events, and they give out really cool shit for people. But they had this table set up, which is for Valentine's Day, like a pamper yourself kind of a thing. They had bath bombs and shower steamers and stuff like that you could get. You make this little basket, and they had little bottles of champagne that you could take, and it was just really cool. So I had this idea because Dylan seemed to really enjoy the shower thing. So I was like, oh, I'll just get some of those. They're like
shower thing.
They're like they're like bath bombs, but they're for showers. So you just put it on the ground when you're taking a shower, and the water dissolves it, and it has this aromatherapy smell to it. They're fucking fantastic. I love them. I had this eucalyptus one, and I felt like I was in a spa. So I thought, I'll get him a box of those. So while I was getting that box to get delivered, I was like, I've been complaining about the shower head in my shower for a long time. So I bought 3 of them. And this is
3 shower heads?
Well, this is a thing I learned from Jen, and I don't know if this is cool or not. I bet Amazon delivery drivers will listen to this, and they'll be like, screw you, man, this is terrible. But you get 3 of them, because I'm not there to look at them and see how they work and if it's what I want. Sure. So I order 3 of them, and then I pick the one I want, and I return the other 2. So I order these. Now, it's the day before Valentine's Day, and I'm telling this to Dylan. I was like, your present's going to come today, so don't look. I was like, it's going to come with some other thing. I ordered 3 shower heads. And so it's coming with that. And he goes, you ordered a shower head? And I was like, yeah. And he goes, this close to Valentine's Day, and you decided to go buy yourself something? And I was like, what are you talking about? And he goes,
he got you a shower head for Valentine's Day?
Yes. And so that's what he was getting at. And I was like, and he goes, now I know how you felt about the scooters. And I was like, how much was the shower head? Because you said we're going to get something little.
Yeah.
I was like, what did you spend on the shower head? And he goes, $30. And I was like, and then I said something that in retrospect sounds like it might have been rude.
How much did you spend on his little steamer box?
Oh, they're supposed to be small. I spent $19 on the steamer box. So I said, how much did you spend on the shower head? And he said $30. And I said, I'm sorry, but a shower head shouldn't cost $30. He's like, what did you order? And I was like, each one of the ones I got were $100. And so I'm gonna pick the one I want to send the other ones back. And he's like, oh, okay. So it's just like the one I have is $20. Yeah. And so that's it keeps breaking. So that's why I wanted to get one that maybe would last. Like there was a brand name that might last longer. So I was like, that's why I bought the shower heads, because I was thinking you said something small, and it wouldn't be a shower head. So anyway, then he was like, well, I guess I got to go get something else. And so he actually got me something I love. He got me I love throw blankets to sit on the couch and watch TV. And I love Stitch, and it's a Stitch throw blanket. It was perfect. But when we were at dinner, Dylan doesn't drink a lot. Like he drinks wine, but he doesn't drink like hard liquor a lot. He had a drink that clearly went to him real quickly. Oof. So when we got home to open those presents, his reaction to these bath steamers or these shower steamers was like, why? He didn't actually say that, but he opened it and he goes, huh, bath steamers? Or he's like, shower steamers? He's like, because I have a whole bag of these. Okay. I was like, wow, he's still feeling that drink. And it was really funny because the next day he's like, he said, wow, I kind of got drunk last night. I was like, yeah, drunk enough to tell me that the Valentine's Day gift I got you was shitty. And he's like, I didn't. But it was fun. Let me tell you
that was pent-up resentment because you mocked his shower head. He's like, you're going to talk shit about my shower head, and I got this. I'm going to bed. You can sleep on the couch on your new beautiful throw.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I'm going to... All true. Nothing you just said was a lie. I get it. Exactly. I understand.
We have cameras in your house. We saw what happened.
As I said, a shower head shouldn't cost $30. I was like, oh, that's probably rude. Didn't mean
Thanks
it
for
to
my
sound that
cheap
way.
gift, husband.
I bought dinner. That's expensive. Bonefish ain't cheap.
I was speaking about his
in this
$30
economy.
Head. Come on, Valentine's Day, you got to at least go $100 on the head.
No, we decided we weren't buying anything, and then it would be small.
Listen. I get it. You splurged on your head. He did not.
And when I said I wanted
it's a few days in the future. He's driving, listening to this, and he's like, I am uncomfortable with him talking about our lives on podcasts now. This has become a thing, and it has to stop.
Well, when I said I wanted head on Valentine's Day, it's not what I meant. So anyway, Bonefish, I just want to point this out. Have you been? Are you a fan?
I love it. Bang Bang Shrimp.
Have you been recently?
I mean, probably in the last few months, yeah.
Okay, because they've got this thing now as on their specials, the appetizer. It's called shrimp rangoon dip. Have you had this?
Have you heard of this? Have you seen this? No. That
delicious.
sounds
You know what I'm talking about? Because they take this little wonton. They got wonton chips.
I'm gonna text Chris right now. I'll be like, we're going to Bonefish tonight.
I'm telling you, it is delicious. I love it. It's probably why.
What do you dip in?
It's probably why somebody called me fat last night, because I love it. You take it's sort of like a cream cheese and shrimp. It's like,
what do they give you to dip in it though?
Wontons.
Oh, interesting.
Like it's a deconstructed wonton.
Normally, I hate that shit. But
this
delicious.
This is. I'm telling
you,
don't
deconstruct my food. You build it and bring it to me.
Deconstructed just means the kitchen didn't put it together.
Yeah,
like I don't want to do the work. If I want to self checkout at the restaurant, I'd stay at home.
But no, a ragoon dip sounds delicious.
It is way more delicious than you think it is. So fantastic. Anyway, great, loved it, had a good time. Then I played in a softball tournament.
Oh, yeah. You were complaining about the aching bones earlier. I'm guessing it went well.
It's really muscles, like the very little muscles that I have. All of them are sore. I can't even describe you. It is sore between my toes. Like that's how sore my body is. Like every part of me is sore because I'm aging, and a tournament means you play a lot of games. And I don't think I've done this.
How many total games did you play for
We
the
played
weekend?
7 total games.
Oh, that is a lot.
But this is the part I don't really understand how I did. Because, I mean, I remember doing this when I was in my 20s, but we played 6 games on Saturday.
Oh, damn.
That's a lot. You know, it started at 9 in the morning and ended at like 6 o'clock in the evening. And so, especially when you're like you play a game and then you have to sit around for an hour or two and then play another one and sit around for an hour and play another one. It's a long day and it's hard on your body to warm up and cool down and all that. But I just want to say, well, it's a Gasparilla Softball Classic that is put on by the Suncoast Softball League. Really nice field, the Greco Sports Complex. So good job on that for sure. But the group of guys that I play with are amazing. It was sort of when you go to a tournament, a lot of times your regular team can't go, so you got to kind of merge with another team.
Yeah.
So we had a lot of players from a team called G Level that plays in Orlando, and my team, which is Surge from Orlando, kind of joined forces and just had a great time. It's really difficult to find an entire team of people that are just really cool. like there was not one person who mumbled under their breath or in the dugout about not getting enough playing time, or that the coach wasn't doing the right thing, or that so-and-so sucks and they shouldn't be playing. Like, none of that was happening, and that's just rare. And it was a really cool group of guys, and I had a really great time. I am suffering today for it, for sure. Like, walking up the stairs to come into the office, I'm like, ugh, should I take the elevator? Should I risk it?
Oh,
that's a death elevator.
that is a haunted elevator is what it is. Doors open and close on its own. It dings, it makes noise, the light flickers. You ever seen, well, you probably haven't. But I bet Caitlin has seen the movie Devil with the elevator. That's what that elevator reminds me of. It is possessed by the devil.
Well, I don't know that I've been in it long enough to notice all of that. It's a little old lady,
if you haven't seen the movie. Sorry, spoiler alert.
I don't know. I don't know enough about all of that. But I do know this. I have to step into it because I drag the newspapers into it, and then I send the elevator up and I jump out. But when I step into the elevator, it drops about 2 inches.
Yeah.
And that right there, it tells me everything I need to know about that elevator. No, thank you. So anyway, and then we had our last game Sunday morning, and then I drove right over to Orlando. Watched the movie we're about to talk about, and then went bowling. Then I got home. We talked about this a little bit, and we can talk about it more when we watch the whole thing, because I'm going to go back and watch it. But I really enjoyed watching the parts of SNL's 50th.
Oh, yeah, their 50th anniversary special was on Sunday. Because I didn't watch the movie before we went bowling, so I did bowling. Then I went home. Me and Chris got some food. Then I watched the movie. Then I started watching SNL.
And then you came right into work?
And then basically, I turned on SNL probably about 1:30, and I got an hour into it, and I was like, what are you doing? You're not 12 anymore. You can't stay up all night with your friends playing video games. So I watched 45 more minutes and then went to bed. And so I went to bed probably about 4:30 this morning.
Holy shit.
So I'm a bit tired. I imagine the words coming out of my mouth sound coherent to me, but I've been thinking all day, nobody understands anything I'm saying. I bet it's not even coming out normal. I am running on fumes right now.
Wow.
But,
and you're drinking wine. I'd be passing out any second.
Yeah, I am about to end.
When I have days like that, I walk into the office, like if I'm really... Now, for me, it's like if I go to bed at 1:30 or 1 and I get like 5 hours of sleep, I'll come into the office and I'll just tell everybody, no major decisions today.
Yeah.
Leave me alone.
Well, it's nice. We're an off press week, so no major decisions were made today. All of my interns called out sick today. Don't know what happened. Don't know what happened at UCF this past weekend, but every one of them called out today.
I think Chris texted them all and been like, hey, guys, he didn't get to sleep until 4:30. And they're
all
like,
be in there.
Bird flu.
But yeah, it was a really good show, what I saw. And I'm going to go back and watch some of the parts that I fast forward through. I want
to say that it was, from what I've seen so far, it is exactly what they needed to do.
Yeah.
It was as nostalgic as it was funny, as it was meaningful, and I just loved it. there's a bit, and you could also tell. I mean, it seemed kind of slapped together at times.
Yes,
because it's like, I mean, the whole thing. It's like every person in the audience and everywhere. It was like the elite. It was the A-listers who probably have very busy lives.
That was also part of the fun, is because there was a lot of times, because they did Tina Fey and Amy Poehler do a Q&A with the audience. And they cut to celebrities in the audience, and just seeing the celebrities in the crowd sitting next to them. It just the sheer amount of star power in that building.
Did you see? Whose last name's Ortega?
Jenna Ortega. Yeah,
Jenna Ortega was sitting next to
in between,
but was sitting next to Kevin Costner. And when the two,
no, it was Cher was next to Kevin Costner.
But he was, when they did the thing, when they did the Les Mis thing, that was Kevin Costner and Jenna Ortega, wasn't it?
Well, no, because Jenna Ortega, and then that was some other guy in between the two who stood up. They were sitting next to them, and they stood up. That's it. Kevin Costner's 2 rows up next to Cher, and they were like leaning into each other. I think they might be dating.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I was like, what the hell?
I'm going to bet my life that was Kevin Costner in that moment. I don't know if they moved him there for some reason or whatever, but or I'm ready to just give up, and maybe I'm making a bet I know
also,
I'm going to lose.
Just saying, Meryl Streep was there with Martin Short again.
Yeah?
I am pretty sure they are boning.
Well, at least they're dating.
What, they can't bone?
I don't know.
Hey,
ask
old
me in
people
20
can
years.
bone too.
Ask me in 20 years.
But yeah, they go everywhere together. I think they're an adorable couple. I hope they are boning.
I love both of them.
I hope they bone every night.
I have a renewed, just a renewed respect for Martin Short since Only Murders in the Building.
Yeah.
He just seems to me to be a comic genius.
I've always loved him.
And I think he's great. I didn't get into, is it Jiminy Glick?
I love Jiminy
But
Glick.
I didn't. I was just young and
he
didn't care.
He is hilarious.
So I might go back and start watching some of that and see if
hilarious.
I like it.
And then, I mean, we've talked about this. Three Amigos was like mine and my brother's one of our movies of the 80s, and we were obsessed with it. So
anytime somebody has a problem, I mean, I think of the line, and everybody has an El Guapo.
Yeah.
So anyway, I was going to say real quick is that they were doing a scene. I don't know if you've seen this one. Amy Poehler and she was the one getting married in Bridesmaids.
Kristen Wiig. Oh no, Maya Rudolph. Yeah,
they do that sort of like Long Island-y talk show.
Yeah, I did see that they did. I haven't watched that clip yet, but I did see they did it.
And then Mike Myers' character, like Butta.
Oh no!
He comes on.
I gotta watch that one
as that character, and the 3 of them are talking. And when they were done, I looked at Jen and I said, that could have gone on for 2 hours, and I could have watched it and not thought 1 second like, where's the time gone? It's just so natural. It's so good to see. And then Weekend Update when they brought out my favorites, like the girl you don't want to talk to at a party, and then turns out
she's dating drunk uncle.
Genius. Chills.
SNL Cinematic Universe is
like
what that is.
They just nailed it, you know?
Yeah.
And then it was cool, like, Adam Sandler's song could have been funnier, but it wasn't about being funny. It was about the nostalgia
I loved
of their...
it. My only complaint with the Adam Sandler song is he was singing about, and he mentioned how long all these people had been there, and he was like, went on this riff of the ones who had been there the longest, never said Keenan. And I'm pretty sure Keenan's been there 20 years.
Right. I don't know. He's been there longer than anybody. So, yeah. I mean, they did reference that a lot throughout the show. But
I was confused at why he wasn't a part of his song.
I don't know if obviously I'm not there. So, Michael Che, if you're listening, I'm just curious, like, what was your take on Bill Murray's list of the greatest hosts? And he said in honor of
Black History
Month, he was doing it for the black host of the show, and there's only one because it's only been Michael Che. And I think that but when he said that, they went to Michael Che, and he was just kind of like, "How was that?" But I don't know if that was him just laughing about it or if he was upset about it.
Well, he said something after he did the list. Oh, that's because he said, and then he picked up the list of the other 10. He goes, and now we'll do the normal list. And that's when he went, what?
Yeah, right? But weird.
I think it was a jokey kind of his jokiness.
Yeah, and I think Bill Murray really landed that second part, like really like dragging you along to see who's going to be the names, and he made really
and
good
I like
jokes.
the whole connect because he was in Lost in Translation with Scarlett Johansson, and they were both nominated for Oscars back when the movie came out. So it was kind of like nice that he came and got to fuck with her husband.
Look, and I love Little Shop of Horrors.
Yeah.
And when she came out and was singing about New York, but it was like Suddenly Seymour.
Yeah.
I felt I have never really, she's never been on my radar of people like, I've got to see this because she's in it. I would see anything that she did on Broadway.
Yeah. Yeah.
She was good. Anyway, great
Fantastic. But yeah, it's on Peacock. Check it out.
Yeah. So we actually watched the movie to talk about.
We did.
In honor of Valentine's Day, well, we decided to cover Love, Simon.
We did.
When did that come out? I didn't write that down.
2018. It is based on a 2015 novel called Simon and the Homo Sapiens Agenda by Becky Albertalli.
Really?
Yeah. And they actually changed it to Love, Simon because the studio said that's too long of a title. No one's going to say that whole title. So they changed it to Love, Simon. But yeah, it came out in 2018. It's directed by Greg Berlinetti, who last year at the Emmys, he's the one who won the Lifetime Achievement Award and has written and directed and created TV shows for years and years and years. He wrote for Dawson's Creek. He did the Jack Coming Out episode.
Was he involved in 13 Reasons Why?
No, but
because like half the cast was.
Because there's a bunch of cast members of from there and there. But he did all the CW DC shows. So he did like Arrow, Flash, Supergirl. He did all those shows. He's directed quite a bunch of Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. I don't know if you've watched that, but that is a fabulous show.
I hear it's chilling.
It's so good.
I think I'm gonna. I quit. I can't do this podcast anymore.
Sure.
I made a joke. I looked over at Caitlin, and she looked at me and shook her head no. She's like, no.
I mean,
no more.
You tried. Did you ever see the Broken Hearts Club movie?
I love it.
Oh, he directed that.
When we talk in our episode number 1, I bring up how
Life
much
as
I
We
love
Know
it.
Which stars Josh Duhamel, who's in this movie. He wrote the Green Lantern movie, the one that Ryan Reynolds is in that everybody hates.
Oh my God. Okay.
He also produced Red, White, and Royal Blue. So I love him.
I want to just you mentioned his name.
Yeah.
Hilarious, right? When Tina Fey and Amy Poehler were doing the Q&A and
and
Ryan Reynolds stood up and they said, "Hey Ryan, how are things?" And he goes, "Good. Why? What have you heard?"
So yeah, I think it's great that he can joke about the fact that him and his wife are trying to destroy lives. Allegedly. Anyway, so yeah, fun times by them.
It reminds me.
It hurts because I loved him so much.
It reminds me of when Ryan interviewed Kathy Griffin.
Oh yeah.
And as a joke, said like the last time we talked to you was before the whole cutting Donald Trump's head off. Yeah. And he said, "So anything happened since then?" As like a joke, and it did not land.
No.
And so
I believe her response was, "Are you serious?" And then went into this long diatribe of everything that happened. And I want to think the way that he told the story is exactly how it happens because it cracks me up. So she went on, rambled for like 5 minutes. Then he goes, "Yeah, I know."
Poor Ryan. Trying to make a joke and
he was drowning in that one. Anyway,
pissed off a celebrity.
Good time.
Anyway,
so Love, Simon, 2018.
Do you want to talk about who's in the cast, or do you want me to just yell about it when we get to it?
No, let's talk about it.
It stars Nick Robinson as Simon.
Yes, Nick Robinson was in Jurassic World. Yeah.
The older brother of the little boy, and they were in that glass bubble.
In that little bubble.
Yeah, that's how we can describe that. Well, these are just in the order that they showed up. That's his parents. So his parents are Jennifer Garner.
Yeah.
Of Alias fame.
13 going on 30.
Ben Affleck.
Elektra, Daredevil. Married to Ben Affleck. Have a bunch of beautiful kids together.
Was married, right?
Was married.
And then the father is Josh Duhamel.
Transformer movies.
Was in the TV show Las Vegas.
Yes, he was.
I believe he was in a soap opera.
Sure.
I think.
Why not throw one of those in there?
But anyway, he's very handsome. He's a very handsome man.
He's a daddy, as they say.
Yeah, he is now. But like in Las Vegas, he was just a hot guy.
Yeah.
Right? Then he's got his best friend.
His friends group. Catherine
Catherine Langford.
who was the 13 Reasons Why girl.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then he's got two other friends. Alexandra Shipp plays
Abby.
She
who was, for those who watched the X-Men reboot movie, she was Storm in Apocalypse. And
I wrote down Tick, Tick, Boom and Barbie. She was in those.
Oh, yeah. She was also in both of those, yes.
And then I didn't write down the name of the other guy that's the friend. I can look it up real quick.
Is that? Nope, that's... I have the cast.
Talk amongst yourselves.
Do
you want to know what Mike Myers' "Talk Amongst Yourself" moment was in SNL? He goes, "Talk amongst yourself." The progressive movement, the progressive era. He goes, "It was neither progressive nor an era." Discuss.
Jorge Lendenberg Jr.
Yes,
and
he plays Nick.
Yes, he was in American Carnage. If you saw that, Night Teeth, Bliss, Bumblebee. When they rebooted the Star Wars movies, which ironically Josh Duhamel was in those. So yeah, look at that, full circle. Spider-Man: Homecoming. So yeah, stacked cast.
It is a stacked cast. So, and now I'm going to run through a couple of other people. So, we'll get to the premise of the show, but let's just say that there's this guy who finds out who's gay, and he finds out there's another gay student at school, and he spends the movie trying to figure out who this other gay person is. And this is the cast of characters that it could be. One is a guy who plays on a sport. What sports team is it that they all play on? Like what kind of sport? Do they ever say?
Oh, soccer, I think.
Is it soccer? Okay, yeah, it is soccer. So there is Keenan Lonsdale.
Yeah.
Who was in My Fake Boyfriend, which we covered on this podcast. Yes.
His name is Bram in the movie.
Yeah, it's Bram in the movie. Then there is a guy named Joey Polari who plays Lyle. That's the Waffle House waiter.
Yeah, he's the Waffle House server. Yeah.
He was in was that series called American Crime Story? Wasn't there a series that
American Crime Story is the Ryan Murphy one where they did the O.J. Simpson and they did the Menendez brothers.
What wasn't there one before O.J.?
No, O.J. was the first one for American Crime Story.
There is a
series from I think ABC,
maybe American
Crime.
Okay, and in that it was it a true story?
I don't know,
because it was about a hazing incident involving a football team. And this guy Joey was in it, and he played one of the football players, and I think it turns out like in the show he was gay, and I didn't look up. I don't know if he's gay or not, but he's one of the possibilities. Another one is Mile Heiser,
Cal in the
who
movie,
plays Cal in this movie, but he was in 13 Reasons Why.
Yes, he was one of the. Yes, there's a couple of them. 13 Reasons Why.
He also played the son of the Gilmore Girl in the TV show Parenthood, which I love more than anything. And now he did come out recently-ish. He's gay.
Yeah.
I will tell you, not going to tell you whether this is true or not. Whether,
by the way, Joey Polari is actively gay.
Oh, okay, good.
At this moment, he is actively gay.
Right now,
right this very second.
He's a good-looking guy too.
It up.
He's good-looking, as is Miles. I wanted in this movie. I from the beginning, I want Miles to be blue. Like from the beginning.
Oh, really?
So I won't say like who it is, until we get to the end. But I always want it to be.
I was very happy with who it turned out to be.
And then, and Tony Hale is in this. He plays the vice principal. He is delightful in this.
I love Tony Hale.
He is what if you were going to make a TV show or a movie about what a vice principal would be like. I feel like it would be him.
Yeah.
But I have a question.
Sure.
Who is the principal of the school, and why is the vice principal doing everything?
That's an excellent question. I don't think we meet the principal.
Like when they all get called to the vice principal's office, I was like, why is the vice principal doing this? What's the principal doing? Anyway, so that's the cast of characters. It's a stacked cast. Yeah, it's cool. So you want to tell them about what it's about?
No.
Okay.
All right.
Anyway, how many grapes do you give it?
So yeah, like you said, Simon is, and he's in the beginning. He's talking about, he just has a normal life. he has parents and a sister and kids, and he goes to school, and they drink too much iced coffee.
In the first 30 seconds of this movie, his parents give him a nice car. Is that a normal life?
I mean,
in this
sometimes.
economy, maybe back then.
This was 2018.
Yeah.
So this is,
he had that pre-pandemic money, pre-inflation. You get a car. Yeah, Oprah was giving cars away. That's how cheap they were.
Yeah. So he has this great life, and he has a secret that nobody knows about, and his secret is that he's gay. So as we mentioned, Simon has two best friends that he's known since kindergarten. That's Lee and Nick. And then a few months ago, Abby moved to town, and the four of them all hang out now. And Abby and Nick, from the very beginning, you can tell Nick has kind of a crush on Abby. He's very flirty with her when she's around.
Yeah.
One thing I will say about this movie, because we'll get to our opinions of it and, whether we liked it or not. And I will say right off the bat that I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. The first, I'd say 5 minutes of it is a little too John Hughesy for me. It feels like they're trying to force it. I counted, they changed the song 7 times within the first couple of minutes. And it's just like, hey, we've got a cool soundtrack. And look at these crazy kids. They're just like you. And it feels like they're pushing a little hard to be this generation's John Hughes. But once the whole gay thing starts up and it kind of finds its own footing, the movie gets off and going. But the first few minutes is a bit insufferable for me. And it's like, pick 1 or 2 songs. You get 2. Not 7, you get 2. Anyway.
Well, you won't listen to that podcast then, will you? It took 25 minutes to explain what it's about.
No, I can tell you right, I probably won't listen to that. However, I will say, having said that, love the soundtrack of this movie. I don't want to hear it in 30-second bursts right after another, but to listen to the whole album, it's a fantastic
Maybe the
album.
director was a fan of Moulin Rouge, the Broadway show.
Oh, shows. So this school has a website, like a blog, like a little secret. I mean, you and I, we graduated high school many, many years ago before computers were a thing.
Yeah.
So I don't know if this is a thing for schools now, that schools have websites where they have like secret blogs that students post to anonymously. Or if that's just
just on Gossip Girl.
On Gossip
I think like I do know enough to know that there are chat channels that people use to chat, but I don't know that they allow you to be anonymous.
Yeah.
So what this is it's just sort of a platform, which I think is a terrible idea for a school.
Absolutely.
To let kids go up and say things anonymously.
How could you not know that tragedy won't bestow this school?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's why the principal wasn't there. He got fired for this stupid idea.
Sorry, I went to talk and then I was strangled. So on this anonymous website,
By
somebody
the ghost
posts
of the elevator.
Somebody posts up a picture of a Ferris wheel, and they post up that they feel like their life is a Ferris wheel, and that they have these big highs, but then they have these lows, and they have a secret that they haven't told anybody. It's that they're gay. So instantly Simon's like, oh, we have something in common. We're both in the closet, and we both go to this school that has this weird website. I
can totally relate to that. I got to say, right off the bat, this movie gripped me because when I was in high school, there was a rumor going around that this one kid was gay. And I didn't know if it was true or not, but just being so starved to reach out. I mean, you're talking like 1989 kind of a thing, and being like so starved to have any sort of conversation with someone else like you. I was trying to reach out. There weren't cell phones, and there certainly wasn't this website.
Yeah.
So I knew this person because I play baseball and they play baseball, and I was like trying to reach out to them, and I'm like, hey, can we meet at the park? Because I just wanted to talk and like come out to him and this kind of a thing. I'm so glad that he was like, no, I'm not, kind of a thing, because that could have changed. My life could have gone in a different direction.
Yeah.
Because clearly the rumor was not true about him. And if I had come out to him, then it would have been this situation like in this movie where it's like, oh, let's get the focus off me. And let me tell you, this is a real gay one. And that would have been devastating. But that whole like starved for someone else gay to talk to, it hooked me right off the bat.
Yeah, so it hooks Simon as well. So he decides to grab the guy's email, and he sends him a response. His screen name is Blue, because you don't use real names on this anonymous website. So Simon uses the name Jacques. So he is Jacques, and this mysterious boy Blue.
You're my boy, Blue. That was on TV this weekend too. Old school. You're my boy, Blue.
So Simon spends the next few days kind of stressing over, oh my God, is he going to respond? He's constantly checking his phone. Checks his phone in school. You can't be doing that. And vice principal sees him and he snatches his phone, says you can get it back at the end of the day. So then Simon has to go through the whole day.
Did you see when that right after that they're at lunch, right?
Yeah.
Or was it right before that? I don't know. They're all at lunch and all at the table. And
oh yeah, that's right before he takes his phone.
Yeah,
he keeps looking at his phone.
The guy at the table, who was talking about karaoke and singing karaoke at this big party.
Yeah,
that's the guy from Queer.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize. Yeah. Oh, and we talked about this when we reviewed Queer, that he was in Love, Simon.
He doesn't show up on the first page of people that are in this movie, so I can't give you his name right off the bat. Do you remember what it was?
Logan Miller.
Drew Starkey.
Drew Starkey. Yep.
Yeah, same thing.
Plays Garrett.
Yeah.
Mr. Garrett.
Famously
married to Mrs. Garrett.
Girls. While we're here.
Yeah.
Can I just say, like, one thing this movie does really well is it paints this idealistic view of this family. I think that as a gay teenager, I would love to. Like, please, I want to be, I want to be this family.
Yeah.
But like the father, played by Josh Duhamel, relies so much on Simon to get anything done.
Yeah.
He's a very sensitive father.
Yes.
He's a crier, and he likes
to joke around.
He wants to do things, but he can't do anything. And so he can't do anything with technology. And his 20th anniversary is coming up with his wife, and he wants to put together a video. So he shows it to Simon. And Simon's reaction, it just cracked me up. It's the thing I do where I like to write words down. So he quotes from the movie. I like to write dumb words. He shows Simon the video that he's made for his wife, and Simon stops. He's like, "This looks like a fourth grader made it, and not even the smartest fourth grader in the class."
Yeah. It was not a good video.
No.
So they're doing the school musical. They're all a part of, they're doing cabaret, which I don't know. My high school would never have done cabaret, which I read they, initially, cause in the book they're doing Oliver, and they were going to carry that over from the book in the movie, and they were going to do Oliver, but they couldn't get the rights to it. So they were able to secure the rights to, cabaret, but only the original musical. In fact, one of the stipulations was Abby, when she plays Sally Bowles, she cannot wear a top hat because that is copywritten for the movie. And they weren't allowed to do anything with the revival that had Alan Cummings and the show since then. It had to just be the original Broadway styling of the musical. So they're doing cabaret. The drama teacher, this is where we meet the drama teacher, who's a delight.
She is amazing in this. I'm trying to find out what else she's been in. Natasha Rothwell.
Yeah.
And she is so delightful. Oh, she was in The White Lotus. Yes. She worked in the spa in the first series.
She was also in Wonka, and she was the sister in the Sonic the Hedgehog movies. If you check those out. They're very good.
For all the Sonic fans out there and the Jim Carrey fans.
Yeah. So she was an extra in The Lion King. So that is her qualifications to be a drama school teacher in the Midwest.
But she's like so exasperated by them, and she's like, I was an extra in The Lion King for this. It cracks me up.
So school day ends. Simon gets his phone back. He gets into his car and he sees that that Blue emailed him back, and they start exchanging messages back and forth to each other. When they found out they were gay, their musical tastes, stuff like that. And Simon starts looking around the school, trying to figure out, do I see Blue every day? Do I pass by him? He mentions that he likes Game of Thrones, so he's walking down the hallway and he's seeing all the nerds in their Game of Thrones shirts.
Hilarious.
And making faces like, ugh, I hope you're not the queer.
Right.
Which seems a little elitist of him. Like you're building this bond, and then you're like, oh, I hope it's not one of these ugly Game of Thrones trolls.
It was just funny because, like, because he says he likes Jon Snow.
Yeah.
And then it cuts to all these people wearing Jon Snow T-shirts. It was funny.
Yeah. So Simon is checking his email in the library, and reads one from Blue, and the assistant principal comes over, and I'm sorry, I'm sure they're just trying to be, principal, But I'm pretty sure you're not supposed to be talking to the students like he's talking about his love life and his dating life. I'm like, dude.
Oh, and like teachers like to have sex too?
Yes. Yeah. I'm like, dude, you can't be talking to your students like this. You're going to get arrested. Anyway, Simon is obviously skeeved out of as much as I was about this. So he's like, and he leaves so rapidly that he forgets to log out of his email.
Oh,
so
no.
His emails between him and Blue are there for anybody to see. And
Does
they
someone?
are seen by Martin. We should mention Martin is an obnoxious pain in the ass.
He's like
he's a drama
obnoxious drama geek.
Yeah.
There's one in every school.
He's just so much. It's like he would be a cool guy, I guess, if he just toned it down. But he's just so extra about everything. He just wants everyone to like him so much.
Tries way too hard. So he goes and uses the computer after Simon, and he sees the email. And instead of being an upstanding guy and just being, oh, this isn't my email account, let me log out, he starts reading his emails and reads the letters between Blue and Simon. Martin confronts Simon, and he says, hey, I was in the library, and I noticed that you didn't log out of your email. And Simon, you can tell he's annoyed by Martin, doesn't like Martin. He's like, yeah, okay, thanks. And as Simon's walking away, he says, my brother's gay. And he's like, why would I care about that? And he's like, because I know you're gay, and you're in love with Blue. So Martin basically blackmails him and says, hey, I really dig your friend Abby. And if you help me hook up with Abby, I won't tell everyone that you're secretly gay. And I was like, you're a piece of shit, Martin. And nothing you do in this movie will ever redeem you. I just want you to know that. Yeah. I mean, there is, he gets his comeuppance.
Yeah.
Which is nice. But then it's the catalyst for him being even more of a dick.
Yeah. And I don't care. Even if they tried to redeem him at the end, no, you will never be redeemed, Martin. I hope you just barely miss every role you go out for, and someone's just a little bit better, and then you have to work at like a Dairy Queen your whole life because you couldn't make it as an actor. That's what I hope
for. But it wanted not to be your choice, but you have to.
I mean, if you choose to work at Dairy Queen, that's fine.
Yeah, like if you're working there right now and you're like, well, that's a dick thing to say. I like my job at Dairy Queen. Good for you. But we want Martin to not like it.
I want Martin never to have joy in his life. Anyway, so Bram, as we mentioned earlier, he's the first one that Simon suspects might be Blue.
Yeah, because there's a whole Oreo thing, right? And then they're exchanging emails, and it's getting close to Halloween, and Blue is like, I like Halloween Oreos. It's my favorite thing about that. Yeah. And then like the next day at lunch,
he sees Bram eating those Oreos.
Bram eating Oreos. He's like,
and
it must be Bram.
Bram's parents are going out of town, so he's going to throw a Halloween party. So
this is where the guy stands up and talks about karaoke. And that's the different career, yeah.
So they all are getting dressed up to go to this Halloween party at Bram's. Simon invites Martin to ride along with them to try to get Abby and Martin talking. But Martin, through all his flirting, Abby and Nick are just all about each other.
When he tells his friends that he invited Martin, they whisper, is this a Make-A-Wish thing? Like, why did you invite him? I thought that was cute.
Because nobody likes him.
And then they're in the car and they're trying to decide what to drive. They're on the way to the party or what to play, and Abby and Nick are flirting with each other. And because Nick's driving and Abby's in the passenger seat. Did you notice that she's like, play Drake? You can never go wrong with that. And I was like, There's so many references about things that aren't cool anymore. Like, somebody says something about Cosby.
There's a Bill Cosby reference.
Yeah.
So they get to the party. Go ahead.
I don't know why I wrote. but somebody at some point like said something about I hope Trump doesn't destroy my legacy. Oh, because they go to the party and Bram is dressed as
Barack Obama post-presidency.
And he's like, I'm just chilling at the beach hoping Trump doesn't destroy my legacy.
Yeah. So they go to the party. The kids are drinking, dancing, making out. It's basically Euphoria Lite. It's not quite there, but it's just like
totally
kids cosplaying as Euphoria.
Euphoria Lite, yeah.
So Nick tells Simon, which was autocorrected here to Simone. So Nick tells Simone that he likes Abby, and in order to keep Martin in the game, Simon's like, "Oh no, Nick, you can't ask Abby out. She has a college boyfriend. She's dating a guy in college. She's into the older guys. You don't have a chance." So he's like all bumming and he leaves. And then Simon, Bram, Martin, and Abby play beer pong because, that's what high school kids do. But they call it Beirut. Have you ever heard it called Beirut?
I didn't know what they were playing.
Yeah, they were playing beer pong, but they kept calling it Beirut. And I was like, are they like, is that copywritten? Can you not call it beer? But then later in the movie, they make reference to it and Abby calls it beer pong. So I was like, I've never heard it called Beirut, and I don't know why it would be called Beirut, but that's what they called it.
I don't know.
So Simon gets really drunk, and he starts singing karaoke with Bram, and he's like, feeling it, and he goes looking after the karaoke. They part ways, and he goes looking for Bram because he's had quite a bit to drink, and he's like, you know what? I'm going to find Bram, and I'm going to tell him. And he opens up a bedroom door, and Bram's in there with a girl making out. And Simon is heartbroken because he's like, oh, well, can't be you. So he goes storming down the stairs and runs into Martin, who throws up on him. Yeah, disgusting.
Gross.
So gross.
Has it ever happened to you?
Been thrown up on?
Yeah.
I've thrown up on people.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, I felt bad about it.
Oh, my God.
It was when I was in the military, and I threw up on my boss.
Oh, Jesus.
We were at the bar, yeah.
That's so interesting.
She made me drink the tequila.
We were in Tampa. Watermark was there for a Tampa Pride event.
Yeah.
And one of the sales reps threw up on me after smacking a fellow employee who
face?
Who used to be an admin. I don't want to say his name. Are you ready to get down?
Yeah, I'm making a note so I can ask you about
I can
later.
say first names, right?
Sure.
Nick.
Got slapped or slapped someone?
No, this guy slapped Nick.
I want his name now.
But it was like this thing, like we were all just drinking, and the guy wanted to go to a different bar, and Nick and I were having a blast at this place in Tampa called Wranglers, which was like a country bar, and like gay people line dancing is heaven to me. So I was like, I don't want to go anywhere. And Nick's like, I don't want to go anywhere either. And the guy just slapped him, thought he was being funny, but he like hit him really hard. And then
what did Nick do?
Well, he got really angry.
Yeah, I would have.
Yeah. And so we ended up then walking to the other bar, and that's where the guy threw up on me. Now, luckily it was, I was much younger, and I wasn't in a period of my life where I hated the way I looked. I was also wasted. I was drinking. So I just took the shirt off and threw it away and walked around without that. But crazy. That guy got fired real soon after that. We actually went to Waffle House the next morning and wouldn't let the guy go in and eat with us. And he was like so hungover, and we made him sit in the car, and like he's just sitting baking in this car. I think we had to pull over a few times and throw up along the way too.
Gross.
He was a messy drunk. Anyway,
Simon is also a messy drunk, and so Leah has to take him home. And get his drunk ass upstairs into bed. They bypass the parents, which I thought this was funny because they thought they were so slick. Like, oh, hey, we're just going to go upstairs. And the parents totally knew he was drunk. So he goes up.
Adorable scene.
Leah stays the night. And they're talking about, feelings for people and people, being right in front of you and recognizing, that you want to spend the rest of your life with somebody like that. And Simon thinks that she's talking about Nick, and he's like, oh, she has feelings for Nick. But I don't know how he came to that, probably because he was drunk. And I hate he came to that conclusion because obviously she has feelings for him. So they go to bed, and Simon in his drunkenness decides he wants to email Blue, and talking about he doesn't understand why straight people don't have to come out. And if they did, they would know what they have to go through. and then signs the email, Love Jacques. And it's the first time he wrote love to him. So they're progressing in their relationship.
Can I tell you the difference between Beirut and beer pong?
Sure.
There's not one. It's just that
Cool.
it started at the same time in different parts of the country, and one group of people called it beer pong and the other called it Beirut, and they had no idea that the other had started it, but they're very similar.
See, I can see where the name beer pong comes from, since you are bouncing ping pong balls into cups of beer. Where does the name Beirut come from? Was it invented in Beirut?
Supposedly, people at Lehigh, where Beirut was formed, I think Dartmouth was where beer pong is credited with starting, and Lehigh is where Beirut started. And the rumor is supposedly people at Lehigh felt that the U.S. should have bombed Beirut in retribution for some attacks. So
they were bombing.
So you're bombing.
There went my pen. That's fine. I'm not writing anything. All right.
Anyway.
Well, that sounds like there is
they
some
love each other.
racism tied into that name. So I will not call it Beirut. I will call it beer pong.
I felt like when it was being said that it couldn't have been for a good reason.
Yeah, that makes sense. So Martin's still being a dick, threatening to leak his emails if Simon doesn't make something happen with Abby. So Simon suggests, because they're all in cabaret together, suggests that they all go to the Waffle House to read lines. So Blue emails Simon and tells him that he's going on vacation with his dad, and he's going to come out to his dad finally. So Simon's reading that email while he's at Waffle House. And then this scene, I probably didn't like this scene because I cannot stand Martin. But they're all hanging out at Waffle House, and the waiter comes up, and he's like, "Oh, we had a class together, and I'm Jewish." And in the emails, they realize Blue is Jewish, so he starts to put two and two together, and he's like, "A Jew? You must be Blue." He starts...
Gay Jew Blue.
Yeah, he starts fantasizing that he's Blue. And Martin and Abby are doing their lines, and Martin's asking Abby about herself. And Abby's like, doesn't really want to talk about herself, but Martin's pushing it. So she has a bad relationship with her dad. He cheated on her mom, and she thought that he was her hero, and she's just messed up from it. So Martin has her do this thing where they stand on the chairs and yell that she's an incredible young woman and deserves a goddamn superhero. The whole scene is so cheesy and cringy to me.
It's so cringy.
I hate it.
Do you know what?
It's such a blemish in this movie.
It is.
It's a good movie.
It's a good movie, but then this scene is just stupid. It's not Martin. It's just a stupid... Like, this, I wrote down, Martin's so obnoxious for making this happen. Like, and it's cringy because all I could think about was if I'm in a Waffle House and some high school students stand on a table and yell, "I deserve a goddamn superhero."
Yeah.
I deserve silence. Shut up.
Yeah.
Like, get off the table.
The whole scene goes back to the beginning where it just feels like somebody said this kind of thing would be in a John Hughes movie. So even the kind of synthesized music that's playing, all very John Hughesy 16 Candles kind of shit. And I was like, this scene should have been cut.
Right? It was at a Waffle House. The only song coming from that jukebox should be Achy Breaky Heart.
Or Believe from Cher.
Right. Yeah. But it had that whole like Carpe Diem thing from Dead Poets Society, and then it made me think of
in this movie.
Made me think of SNL when they stood on the things and the fans cut their heads off. I was like, cut his head off.
So Martin and Abby start to get a little friendlier there because Abby is positively impacted by his screaming, apparently. So Martin decides that he wants to go for it. So he's like, stops and he says Simon, because Simon finds out that Waffle House server is not gay. He actually has a thing for Abby. And he's like, back to square one. And as he's kind of bummed about this and storming off, Martin comes up and he's like, we need to do things to make things happen with Abby. And he's like, you know what? You got to go big or go home. You got to make a big move. So Martin says, I will do that.
And Simon tells him this because Simon's over it.
Yeah,
because he just found out that the Waffle House guy likes him.
Yeah.
So he's upset about that.
Yeah.
I just wanted to reiterate that he was over it. Because I've been listening to every word that's been said.
I know you were. So Martin decides he's the mascot because it's homecoming and he's the mascot for the football game. He's a bear. So He goes running out to the field and grabs the microphone and confesses his love for Abby in front of the whole school. And Abby is not interested in Martin at all. And now Martin is humiliated. He becomes a meme, which is just the worst.
Speaking of humiliated, though, can I just I want to backtrack 2.5 minutes before this. So we haven't really talked about the other out gay character.
Oh, yes. There is an out gay character in this.
It is, what's his name?
His name
it's not Miles,
is
right? No.
Garrett. No. Ethan.
Okay, so Ethan dresses a little bit more like flamboyantly. And
he's more into fashion.
Yeah.
Like Simon is t-shirts and jeans and hoodies. He's more into vests and ascots.
If you were making a movie and you wanted about a gay kid in a high school and you needed to make that kid look stereotypically gay, this is Ethan.
Yeah.
So Ethan gets picked on by, there's these two students that throughout the movie like to pick on people who are gay.
Yeah.
So at this football game, they make some kind of they make fun of Ethan for being there and like, I didn't think you were into sports. Why are you here? Ethan has this comeback that just cracks me up. And he starts talking about like one of the guy's penises.
Yes.
And he says, "Can we get some hummus for that baby carrot?" And I love that line. So when you watch it, keep an eye out for that line.
Yeah.
It's funny.
So Martin is humiliated and he decides to pull some heat off of him because he's being made fun of and they're memeing him. To pull heat off of him, he is going to leak Simon's emails. So Blue emails Simon, says, "Hey, I'm going away for Christmas holiday. We're going to be up in the mountains at my dad's cabin, so I won't have access to email and technology. So it'll be a couple of weeks before you hear from me." So when Simon reads this email, he flashes back to
the guy playing the
piano boy, Cal. Yeah. And he remembers him saying during one of the rehearsals that his dad has a cabin in the woods, in the mountains, and they're going there for the Christmas holiday. So he's like, "Oh, it must be Cal." So as he's fantasizing about kissing Cal under the mistletoe, Leah calls him, FaceTimes him, and says, "Have you seen the website?"
I just want to say
yes.
that my favorite Christmas song is "Someday at Christmas," and it's completely related to the scene in this movie. And I love everything about that scene where he's hanging out with his family and they're having Christmas dinner, and the "Someday at Christmas" is playing, and Cal walks in and he sees he's under the mistletoe, and Simon walks up and he's about to kiss him. I was like, I love this scene. It's everything that I wanted to see when I was in high school. And
unfortunately, it's not real. It's a fantasy.
And then it gets ripped away in a horrific way.
And Leah tells Simon, "You need to go on our little secret school website and look at what was posted." And he pulls up, and it's all of his and Blue's emails. Martin has posted them so everybody can see them. His sister comes in and she's like, "What's happening?" And I was like, okay, you're a little too dramatic. Just, give him his space.
That poor girl walked in there to be like, "Hey, I just want to let you know this is there," and like supportive, and he's trying to help him, and he starts yelling at her because he's freaking out. The thing that irritated
with me is she goes, I saw the messages, and he goes, "Yeah, I am gay," and she goes, "You can deny it." Get the fuck out of here. Deny it. It's out there. And stop making him go back in the closet.
One thing I'll say,
cook something.
One thing
chef.
that I'll say that I really liked about this movie too is that at no point in anything in this does Simon indicate in any way that he was ashamed of being gay.
Yeah.
It was never about hiding who he was because he was ashamed. It was, I know as soon as people know, my entire life is going to change, and I don't want my life to change. And so he wanted to control his own narrative. And this ripped that away from him. But I appreciate so much the fact that he never was ashamed of it.
Yeah. So it's Christmas morning, and Simon decides to tell his parents because, the rest of the school knows, so his parents need to know. And his dad makes some jokes, and his sister yells at her, tells her dad to shut up. And his dad walks out. Now, his dad he's not angry. He's not upset. He's just, I guess he's processing it. We'll say that. He's processing it. And Simon takes that as you're disappointed in me. And they don't talk for a few days. Simon, the Christmas break gets over and he goes to pick up his friends because he's been ignoring their texts all
that
Christmas
coming
break.
out scene from that. I think I told you this earlier today, but I forget like how much this movie makes me cry.
Yeah.
And like that whole thing of him, how do you open presents with your family the morning after like somebody posts all this shit about you and all your life secrets are out there, and this person that you've fallen in love with that you know is now going to not talk to you, and you're just like all that turmoil, and then coming out to your family while you're opening presents. Crazy.
Yeah. So it's all, everything's falling apart for him. His friends find out over the Christmas break that he's been manipulating their relationships to appease Martin, and they all stop talking to him. He has to eat lunch alone.
Do you know what he goes? He goes to school.
Yeah.
And the vice principal meets him there.
Yeah.
And in a cool way to say, like, hey, I'm here for you. And you notice he's wearing a pride flag.
He's wearing a pride flag, rip pin.
But then he does something that seems out of character. Because he's like, you know, when I said that we had a lot in common, I didn't mean this.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Trying to be jokey. I think it's very in character of him trying to be, one of the kids. And it's like, dude, you're the principal. Well, you're the assistant principal. And he's always trying to be just one of the boys. Which is not what you're supposed to do. You're a principal. So Simon's eating alone in the lunchroom, and those two jock boys come back, and one's got a wig on to look like Ethan, and they put a song on, and they start gyrating on a table. And Simon comes over and he goes, "You have something to say?" And then drama teacher comes storming in, and she goes, "Oh no, I got this." And she tells him to get down. And she takes the radio, which I totally would have too. She's like, "This is mine now," and yells at them and says, "You're just those two pieces of shit who did that stupid thing back in high school that one time."
Yeah. I don't know what she said about the radio. She's like, "I'm keeping this." She's like, "I'm going to sell it." And then she said, "I'm going to buy myself something."
No, she said, "I'm going to use the money to get my tubes tied."
Oh, yeah. She's great. Whoever
I love her.
wrote her character is a genius.
Martin and Simon are brought in to have the two guys apologize. But while vice principal's yelling at them, Simon and Ethan have a nice little kind of chat with each other. Just Simon realizes that there's like other types of gay people, and there's other people who are going through shit too. And they had just a really nice.
Yeah, it's amazing
moment.
how your world opens up when you get to talk to another gay person as yourself.
So then Simon's leaving, and Martin comes up to him to say he's sorry. This fucking slime ball.
Fuck you, Martin.
Yeah, fuck you, Martin.
I like his response.
Yeah, he tells him to fuck off.
He says, "I'm supposed to be the one who gets to decide when and who and how, and you took that away from me." I mean, that's the whole point of it. Yeah. I think that's something
and then he says my favorite thing. So fuck off. I was like, yeah, you tell him. So Blue emails Simon, like he hasn't been through enough shit, Blue. You had to do this right now. And he's like, "Hey, I saw our emails got leaked." He goes, "I can't do this."
He says, "I know who you are."
Yeah, he goes, "I know who you are now, and it's just I can't do it."
This.
So he deletes his email account.
What a terrible thing to say to somebody. Like, leave the "I know who you are" part out. That's just It's like, I know who you are, and now I never want to talk to you. Well, that's got to destroy somebody.
Yeah,
like
who, I finally know what you look like, and that ain't it. That's not what I was looking for. Just what Simon did to those poor Game of Thrones nerds in the hallway.
I know, right?
So he's just crushed. His whole life is ending. So Simon goes up to Piano Boy Cal, and he goes, "Are you?"
Breaks my heart.
He goes, "Are you?" I just need to know. Are you Blue?
He's just trying so desperately to find this person, and he just walks up there and sheepishly is like, "Is it you?" And then like the kid was so cool about it.
Yeah, he's like, "No, but you want to go somewhere and talk?"
He was almost like, "I'm sorry, it's not me."
Yeah.
But I just like the whole thing breaks my heart.
Yeah, and then the best part of the movie, at least for me.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
He comes home.
I can't even talk about it.
Okay,
I'm
I'll
gonna
go
start
through
crying.
it really quick.
You don't want
You're
me
gonna start crying.
Look, I knew the scene was coming
up.
up.
I'll tell you what, I will not be able to handle it if you start crying. I'm gonna walk out of this podcast.
I was crying when he was when he was talking thing to the kid in the hallway.
Yeah.
And when he's talking to Cal, I start crying. And then they go to that, and you see the mom, and I just like immediately. I'm trying so hard not to let Jen see that I'm crying, and I'm sitting on the couch, and it's just like, and it's weird because there's like tears streaming because I just know that she's about to be the coolest mom in the world.
She's a cool mom. Not like one of those regular moms. I'm a cool mom.
Like, I mean, I don't know what it's like for kids now when they come out. I don't know. I just know what it was like when I did. And I love my mom. My mom loves that I'm gay. She's cool. She goes to the parades. She went to come out with Pride when I wasn't there. I couldn't be there. She was there. She loves it. So this is not. But when I told her I was gay, this speech that Simon's mom gave him was not the speech that I got. Yeah. So when, and I think that for anyone listening, when somebody tells you that they're gay, they will remember for the rest of their lives the first words that come out of your mouth. So know that and, talk accordingly.
Yeah.
And if you don't know what to say, watch this movie and paraphrase whatever this woman says to her kid.
I will say, when I came out to my mother, she basically gave me this speech.
You're so lucky.
It was fantastic. It was over the phone. It wasn't face-to-face because I was in Italy and she was in the United States. And back in those days, we didn't have FaceTime, so it was over the cell phone. But I imagine that she was on the couch like Jennifer Gardner making protest signs. Which she actually did when she was younger with drag queens. During Anita Bryant. My mom made protest signs with drag queens. It was fantastic. She's a cool mom. She's not like regular mom.
Hey, my mom's cool too.
So Jennifer Gardner is sitting there. Your mom's very cool.
Yes, she is.
Calm down. It's not a competition.
Why you gotta talk shit about my mom? I'm just kidding.
So he comes in and Jennifer Gardner is there. And she tells him, you're still the same Simon. And she goes through all this stuff they does. And she goes, you just get to breathe. You can finally breathe. Are you going to cry? Don't cry.
I'm gonna tell you like why this means so much. Because when he came out to her, he said, I'm still me.
Yeah.
And so she was saying to him, yeah, you need to hear this. You are still you.
Yeah.
Like you think you've changed because we know this about you, but you're not. You're still this guy. You're still the guy that your father needs to get anything done. You're still the cool brother that tells his sister that her food tastes good even when it doesn't. The only difference is you get to breathe.
Yeah. She said you get to be more of you than you have ever been in a long time.
Genius.
So Simon, that speech set Simon on the road to fix everything fucked up in his life. And he starts with Leah.
Well, I mean, are we going to skip over the conversation he had with his dad? Didn't that happen right after this?
No, he goes to Leah.
Okay. Never mind.
So he goes to Leah and says, hey, listen, I fucked up. I'm sorry. But I need you to know that I am in love with Blue. And then Simon tells Leah that she is his best friend. And you find out that one of the things that she was so hurt about is earlier in the movie, I think we forgot to mention this, Simon came out to Abby when they were driving back from the Waffle House, just the two of them. And he's like, I'm not ready for people to know. And she goes, I'm not going to tell anybody. So Leah found out that Abby knew that Simon was gay. And she goes, that hurt that, because you say I'm your best friend. Why couldn't you tell me? And he said because he knew once he told her, that's when everything changed. His relationship with Abby was still new, that he could tell her and it would be kept in confidence. But he knew that once he came out to Lee, that everything was going to change.
Yeah, and just so y'all know too, I mean, clearly if you're listening to this, you like gay people, but you don't get offended when somebody doesn't tell you first. The closer you are, the harder it is.
Yeah.
Because the scarier it is if something were to go wrong.
Yeah.
So, cut the
So then he goes back to the house, and this is when his dad's outside, and his dad and him have a talk. And you start at this point, Simon's thinking, okay, his dad's not handling it well. And he finds out that it's not that his dad's not handling it well. His dad feels bad that he did not notice.
Yeah,
and he feels sorry.
His dad's the kind of dad that would be like, make jokes about like, oh, you got a girl pregnant, or oh, you're dating this one, or you're beating off all the girls because you're like, you're so popular with all the ladies. These kind of jokes.
Yeah,
and he just was embarrassed that he didn't pick up on it. He felt like he failed as a father. And he's crying because he's an emotional man.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
and he says, if in case you didn't know this already, he goes, I love you and I am proud of you. And then he says, hey, let's sign up for Grindr together.
Okay.
And he says, Simon's like, do you know what Grindr is, Dad? And he goes, yeah, it's like Facebook for gays. And he goes, yeah, that's not what it is.
Yeah. That whole scene was adorable right afterwards, because then to change the subject, Simon's like, so how's that video for Mom coming along? And he's like, oh, it's good.
He goes,
and then he's
I
like,
need help.
And then he goes, you don't know how to export the file, do you? And he's like, can you help me? And it's just adorable. Which basically showed that his fear that everything would change, it didn't. Yeah.
So they watched the video that he made, and they're having a nice family moment, and the mom's eyes meet Simon, and she's like, all in the head. They don't say these with words, but she's like, see what I told you? And he goes, yeah, I get it, Ma. I get what you were saying. And she's like, yeah, I'm always right. Remember that. And he's like, I know. Look at your husband now. It's your anniversary, not ours. And she said, yeah, Simon, I know.
King of subtext.
Yeah. So
you were the king of subtext.
I know. Simon gets back on the message board and writes about, coming out and how, why he was afraid to come out and how he was afraid life was going to change, but change is good, blah, 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 blah. Same, all that bullshit. And then says to Blue, after the play, you know where I'll be. I would like it if you came in and met me. So they do cabaret. It's all jazz hands and stuff, and it's good and it's fun. The kids have a good time. So all the friends end up making up, and they're like, let's go to the carnival together. And they go, and Simon gets on the Ferris wheel, tied back to the original post from Blue, and he gives them all of his money for however many tickets it'll be. So he's sitting there and he's spinning and he's going around ride after ride, and people are gathering and they're like, oh, is he come yet? Is he coming? It reminded me of a lot. Remember Never Been Kissed?
Yes.
That movie? That's exactly what it reminded me of.
Just like
where
that.
She's on the mound and is he going to come?
And everybody's like all excited and clapping at
Yeah.
first. Like,
And
yeah,
then
it's
it's like,
going.
oh,
and
God.
then people start leaving.
And it's like that comes down and he goes, all right, that's it. And then Martin comes running
Fucking
up.
Martin.
And he goes, it's me. I'm Blue. And Simon goes, no, you're not. And he goes, no, I'm not, but this is so horrible to watch. So he goes, don't worry about it, Martin. He goes, no. So he takes out money out of his pocket. He goes, get one more ride on me. So they go to start it up, and then Bram comes running up, and he goes, can I sit there? And he's like, oh, I'm waiting on somebody. He goes, yeah, I know. Me. And then he gets on there, and then it turns out it's Bram the whole time, and then the girl he was kissing, she apparently is just very aggressive, and he's like, I pushed her off as soon as you left. And I was like, no.
He's drunk and confused, trying to prove he's straight, and he ended it right off the bat.
So they get to the top of the Ferris wheel, and they have their kiss.
Well, they're
and
not
everyone
talking.
cheers.
They're not talking. And I thought this is a cool moment because they're not really saying anything. And so Bram looks at Simon and he says, "Are you disappointed that it's me?" And then
and Simon says no.
Simon says
I'm
no,
not.
and then he kisses him.
And then they kiss.
And it's adorable.
So the movie ends just like it started, with Simon picking up his friends for school, but instead of just getting 4 iced coffees, he gets 5, and then he picks his boyfriend up, and they're all like, good to, hey, boyfriend. And then they're like, Simon's like, guess what? We're all skipping school, and we're going on an adventure. And then the car drives off. Oh, by the way, we didn't mention this. The movie takes place in Atlanta. In the book, it's somewhere out Midwest. But they moved it to Atlanta. I don't know why. I didn't read why they moved to Atlanta, but the movie takes place in Atlanta, probably because it was cheaper to film in Georgia. So they drive into Atlanta for an adventure. Credits roll, and Simon got his happy ending. Well done,
Well, they
Simon.
didn't show that.
Well, he does. I don't know if you know this.
On the Ferris wheel?
But there's a spin-off series called Love, Victor.
Yes.
And in the first season, he goes and sees Simon. Simon's in one or two of the episodes. And he's still with Bram, and they're in college. And there's lots of happy endings.
Oh, that's good. As there is in college. Isn't that guy that was in Love, Victor? I think because it's called Love, Victor.
Yes.
Isn't he like is he an Instagram fitness person now, or is that somebody else I'm thinking of? Anyway, it's not important to the story. So what do you think? What do you give it?
You want mine, or you want me to tell you what Rotten Tomatoes?
Okay, we can start with that. What do you think Rotten Tomatoes was?
I feel like this got a really good reception when it first came out. So I'm going to say critics were 88, and I'm going to say audiences, as long as it didn't get review bombed, I'm going to say audiences 92.
What did you say the critics were?
88.
Oh, okay. You're kind of reversed.
Oh.
Critics were 92 and audience was 87.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
sure.
I'll give this 4.5 grapes.
4.5?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to say, I'm going to go with, I don't know, I'm going to go with 5. I think it's just something you got to see.
Yeah.
It's just so.
No, I think 4.5 means you see it. I can't.
Yeah.
That Waffle House scene and the first 5 minutes will not let me give this a 5. But a solid
I can appreciate
4.5.
that. I can appreciate that. But this is, and it's probably like, this is a life that I wanted to live when I was in high school, and that's why I get so emotionally involved in the story. I just think it's great because it's the first movie of its kind that existed.
Yeah.
I think, and I think for that I'm gonna give it all the love. I just think this movie is incredible. And now I own it. Do you know it was only $1 more to buy it than to rent it?
Oh.
So
I wouldn't know. I bought it when it came out, and I paid $24.99 for it.
$4.99 to buy it now.
Really?
Yeah, but do you have But it's on streaming.
Oh, I have the DVD,
Yeah.
and then it came with the code that you put in. So I have this the streaming version, and I have the DVD version. Well, the Blu-ray version.
Yeah, I just think it was really cool. You know what? I find it like. To me, it's like the movie equivalent of Heartstoppers, where it's just it's endearing and wholesome, and people handle situations really well.
Yeah, it's definitely like a positive view of, like, when you watch this, you don't think, oh God, he's going to kill himself, or somebody's going to shoot up the school. Like when I watch Euphoria, I'm like, you're all going to die.
Yeah, right.
None of you will survive.
I mean,
this
sure,
show.
it's a Pollyanna view, and
Yeah.
it's as the end credit, they're driving away through like the richest, nicest neighborhood suburb of Atlanta that they possibly could have filmed in. I thought,
so much privilege.
there's a lot of privilege
Simon's
in
life.
this movie, but it's a nice fantasy,
Yeah.
right? And I can appreciate that from time to time. So
Yeah.
I think it's great. If you haven't seen it, and you listen to this whole podcast, go see it anyway. I mean,
Yeah.
even though we ruined the whole show. Because everything's going to happen. Go see it. It's really great.
Yeah,
Or
fantastic.
sit at home and see it, because that's really all you can do. So next week, I don't know. It'll
Next
maybe
week,
Brokeback Mountain, maybe
Brokeback Mountain.
Jamie, maybe
something so different. We're about like, oh, what a happy-go-lucky story.
Yeah.
Ooh, bring your tissues for your happy endings.
for 2 reasons.
You need lots of tissues next week. But yeah, so we got more coming up. So stay tuned, and until then, the cork is back in the bottle.